Hello everyone, and I welcome you all to this new video. Let's talk about a very common thing going on on the internet. This is mostly like a commentary type of a video, right? Like there isn't much visual content available, but yeah, there are some places you might want to look at the screen. Otherwise, you can just listen to this as like a commentary video, something like that. Let's set the premise of this video. This video is going to be about AI. Don't get me wrong, like I'm going to talk about like those AI frenzy type of thing right now, right? But yeah, something going to be around generative AI, like AI generated images and all, right? But partially about AI generated videos also, but mostly about AI generated images for the time being. I will be talking as my point of view, like my opinion. I am somebody who appreciates like good use of technology and something like well built, right? Well designed, good looking, good functionality. I genuinely appreciate both of the things, right? Enough of the context. Let's get to the video. Since past 1 or 2 years, you can like say in the early 2023 or something, like Mid Journey has launched. But yeah, I would say like it took a year or so to get it good enough to like generate some better images. Okay, so let's assume like from 2023 2024, right? That time onwards, generative AI, like generated AI generated images rather, started picking up. And if you like follow technology, or like you, I mean, it's like everywhere. So if you, even if you don't follow it, it is just slapped on your face, so don't worry about that. So like since past 1 or 2 year, like it started getting pretty mainstream, right? Like AI generated images started getting pretty mainstream. Otherwise, earlier, what we used to do is like try to do some imaginary stuff with the images. But now, like people started using it on a day-to-day basis on a real projects, like actually visible things, right? That's what I mean. So for example, your like Ghibli trend that started on 2025 in 2025, right? It was a pretty wild trend. But if you honestly ask the creators of Ghibli art, right, like it was a disrespect to them. So let's not go into that, right, moralities and everything. I'm not going to talk about that for the time being. Let's start with uh, like yeah, for example, I was mentioning, right, like the mass adoption. For example, your news outlets, your YouTube channels that you watch, your mobile apps that you use. At least in, I'm talking in the very the context is pretty much set in India, but I think it's mostly true for all over the world. At least I at least that's what I think on social medias and all. I think that's the case. So my point is like now you are seeing the adoption pretty common, right? Like in your news outlets, your mobile apps, and so on and so on. So let's what I'm referring is like, see, I have prepared some sort of a presentation, not a presentation, but a whiteboard basically, where I have kept the reference images that I have collected in to talk in this video. I mean, there is so much material that we can cover in this video, but I'm gonna focus on the core things, right? For example, this is one thumbnail from Money Control article, right? Like they have mentioned attached a logo in here, but I have seen websites, YouTube videos, and all. Like one example I forgot to add, like that e-commerce, right? That was not in my script, so I'm adding it now. Like when you shop for e-commerce, I'll talk about that also in the next segment. But right now, what I'm talking about is like this generated AI images, right? AI generated images rather. This is from your Money Controls article, right? This is like see, this is from your Times of India. Like these are the pretty big media houses of India, right? Like I'm not saying that they are some YouTubers or something, right? And this is your Mint. This is, I think, owned by Hindustan Times, I guess. This is your Mint. Like this is from Mint's YouTube channel, I guess, because this is like, and this is the article also. I'm like keeping it on the side just for your reference. And let's talk about some apps also, right? This is your Paytm app, right? I think Paytm is a pretty popular like, what do you say, payments app or like booking app in India. So this image, right, it's clearly like chat GPT generated, like because I can if you're like chronically online, you can tell it by the very first impression that it is AI generated. And these are, like, see here, 4 images, and almost all of them are AI generated only. So that is the case. This is your Kotak 811 app, mobile app. This is also pretty popular mobile app in India. I mean, this is a banking app, so this screenshot, specifically this 1% cashback thing, right? This looks purely AI generated, and yeah, I could not take a screenshot, so I just took a photograph and this mirror image. I'm really sorry about this. I had to flip it, but yeah, I could not. But yeah, you get the point what I'm trying to make in here. Let me without going circles, right? Let me put my opinion straight out, right? I hate AI generated images in products and all, right? Where it should not be there. If you are a business owner, right, or an individual using AI generated images, at least to me, it gives an impression that your product is not like you're not serious about it, right? Or you just don't care too much about the product, right? Or rather, like, you don't want to put in effort around your product and whatever you are presenting. That is the first impression that I get. For example, publishing articles, right? Whatever, publishing an article on money control and anything, right? it it if I see this, right, if I see this screenshot, like, as a, what do you say, cover page, right, cover image for the article, it instantly gives me the vibe that this is not like well researched. It could be just like generated or done it in a hurry mood, right? Like, you just had to push one article for the sake of it, so just you have just published it, and you, since you haven't planned it well, you just had to like use an AI generated image and like push this article out. So this like just show me that you're not like putting that level of effort that is required, I guess. But yeah, I mean, then you can argue about the returns also, but at least I'm talking about my point of view, right? And like outcomes, regarding the outcomes, right? Like, things were 2 3 4 years ago, like these things were non-existent, right? So like randomly you're saying that it's not viable, so that is like a very hard to buy argument, so let's keep it there. There could be like, for example, if I see this image, right, there I instantly get an impression that the article might also have been written using chat gpt or something. The problem is, it's not like you should not use chat gpt or anything, but it just gives you a very weird idea in your mind, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a game of the efforts, right? If you read it, you understand it. I mean, if you are on the internet, I think you are able to relate with me, I guess. It is a very popular news publishing website, and still I get this vibe from this. Like, if I just see this image, regardless of the person or the media house that is putting it, say for example your international websites like Reuters, Financial Times. I'm not talking about the credibility, leanings and ideologies of those websites, but what I'm saying is that they are not yet putting AI generated images. Even Bloomberg, for that matter, at least I think they're not putting AI generated images, or they are using a very good model. That could be the that also could be the case, but they're not making it obvious that they are using it, if they are using it. Otherwise, I think they are not using it. But yeah, if they are not using AI generated images, it instantly gives me a feeling of an authenticity. I don't know how to put it, but yeah, it does give me a feeling of authenticity, that a human was behind it. And why do I need a human behind an article? But I think that argument would be very irrelevant in the coming future, like, I guess so, because everything would be taken over by agents and all. But let's not go there. But for the time being, I'm saying that somebody as a human is putting an effort from behind it. It gives a sense of authenticity. That's what I'm saying. Basically, yeah, I have a very good word to put this, right? If you're not putting an effort, for example, I'll also talk about AI generated photographs also, right? AI generated websites, right? Like, you use Lovable or any normal AI tool, right? They generate a very similar looking website, like very similar sort of color choices, like the purple, very similar sort of font choices, inter, and very similar sort of like a very standard layout, right? That sort of like, yeah, it gives an impression of like genericness, right? When you go to those websites, it gives or like news articles or those YouTube videos, you understand that, like, yeah, it is another of those, right? Like, it gives an impression of genericness. For example, I would show you one, that very famous DBMS. I can also explain columns, primary keys, or other DBMS whatever this is. Like here is a clear example and simple explanation of a column in DBMS, blah blah blah. So you get it, right? This is like your AI generated image, AI generated text. So what I mean is that if somebody had put enough effort on this, this wouldn't have been the case, right? Like this should not even be there, I guess. So that is the problem with like AI. People think like it's a very easy escape for effort. No, like you still have to put your skill set, your experience to the things that matters, right? That's what the point I'm making. If I see these articles, my mindset goes like yet another of those. I already mentioned about it. I'm just repeating myself. Same goes for Paytm app, right? Like if you are a well-established company, right? You are a publicly traded company, and like you get a good amount of traffic, so you just should not just use a piss filtered chat GPT generated image, right? Like I'll talk about that piss filter again later on. So if you are somebody responsible for this at the places, or somebody who wants to be there, or you are a student in general, or somebody who wants to learn, I would have some suggestion, right. First, like learn old methods, basically photo editing, Photoshop. I mean, Photoshop is a bit complicated, I would say, but if you don't want it, if you are not very serious about it, but yeah, if you want, then you can learn Canva, right? It's pretty simple, right? Yeah, I think I almost do all of my thumbnails and all. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a very good thumbnail maker, but I can assure you that I haven't used AI generated thumbnails. So that's the thing for me. I mean, if you put it like from a business point of view, if you're winning using AI generated images, then why to put so much effort in like making moderate images by myself? Yeah, that could be an argument, but again, it's my opinion at the very end, not a very, what do you say, hard line something. Okay, so it's at the end of the day, it's my opinion. Use like, yeah, I was talking about my suggestions. So like first I suggested old methods, right? Like photo editing, basic contrast edit, basic like image, what do you say, composition editing, right? Like brightness, saturation, contrast, and all of those things. I think those are basic things that you should understand. Like, yeah. Second thing, like you can learn Canva, right, for text edition, graphic edition, and all of those things. I think Canva is pretty good and free also, so you can learn that, and it's pretty easy to learn also. And use AI where things could be more deterministic. Yeah, that is the problem. Like AI, for example, see in this article, right? See this rupee symbol. This is the problem with this AI generated images, right? What if the things are like more serious right now? I mean, the time being, this is a very normal article, but what if things were more serious than this, right? People don't understand that this really like puts off the vibe, right? I'm repeating myself again, but yeah. Use like deterministic mode of AI, right? For example, animations and all. You could use that. What I'm saying is like this image, right? This animation could have been done in Manim, and this background, like this, what do you call it, this drought background, it really gives me an AI generated video vibe. I mean, this portion at least. I mean, I have seen this in AI generated videos and all, so that's why I'm like mentioning this. So this could be easily done in Manim, right, if you want to do it. So like I would suggest like have a environment setup using ChatGPT. Like that would help you to set ChatGPT or any LLM. Just set up a Python environment in your computer and just use Manim to generate some GIFs or some animations you want to show in your website or in your videos. So that would be a much better approach. For example, one of my like very good YouTubers. I mean, this is like he produces proper brain rot, but it doesn't matter to me, right? His videos have like this animation, whatever the animation he uses in, see this animation, this looks very smooth, right? You can use Manim for that. And for example, very complex layouts and all you want to do, right? Like you want to produce charts, tables, and all in that. So everything is possible in Python, or even simpler, you can use HTML, CSS, right? You can just use HTML, CSS to sort of generate that image, or you can use, I think Python would be very simpler, just to have an environment with all the required packages. I mean, you can learn anything from LLMs, right? Mostly, you can, if you want, you can learn basics of everything. So use that. I mean, it would be very good. It could give you a very deterministic charts and all, because many times I have noticed that, like for example, that Apple charts, right? Putting a chart like, for example, an informative chart in your article or in your video, so you can use that Python, right? They have a lot of plenty of tools that could generate very good like accurate ratio and accurate proportions in the graph. So that is one suggestion. You can also use like Python to create a template for you, right? Like you just replace the content and it would generate the exact same like content with the template, right? So that is also another thing that you can try. Like that would give you a very consistent result, and that would make your product bit more effortful. I think that's what I mean. Third thing is like very controversial, at least, or like pretty suggestive in terms of like, why do people don't want put in efforts, right? Because they don't want to pay people, right? That's what I'm saying. Like hire good people, right? Don't pay in peanuts, just pay them well. They would obviously produce like good images. Like there are plenty of graphic designers available freelancing, or even college students can do better graphics than this piss filter image. That's what I'm saying. And another suggestion would be like use stock images, right? What I'm saying is like use Pixabay or anything like that has, I think, pretty plenty of free images that could be just replaced with this one, right? So that would be a much better looking image in terms of like perception, or like in terms of looks basically. Let me know how things are in your country, and how do you feel about like things like AI generated content, AI generated images you see everywhere, or in a video, right? In a video or in a mobile app or something. That's what I'm saying. So let me know your opinion. How do you feel it? Personally, I feel disgusted that I am explicitly mentioning it, I think, again. And like, does it also affect your seriousness about the platform or the product? For example, you go to something, your e-commerce website, right? You saw this image or something AI generated image. So how does it affect your opinion on like seriousness of that platform, right? Like you want to make a purchase out of it or not? Personally, if I had to subscribe, I wouldn't subscribe to Money Control just because of this AI generated thing, right? I mean, there are other value proportions of money control. So that's what I'm saying. If purely for news content, I wouldn't subscribe looking after looking at this image. One thing I forgot to touch upon is that use of AI generated images in. I have pulled up one image from Flipkart. It's India's one of the leading e-commerce websites. So see this, they didn't even bother to remove this Gemini logo. I don't know what they have done in this image. Like for example, this model could be real, right? Or like they just entirely generated this fake model thing, right? This girl doesn't even exist. That is also one possibility. My doubt is like, how can I trust on this cloth? Like if this isn't a real image, how can I trust on the fittings and quality of the material if I cannot judge it from the image? So that is the very basis of the e-commerce, right? So I think, yeah, see, all of these images are tweaked with AI. And I mean, if you are cropping it on a square format, so you can just, I mean, crop it further, or like generate in such a way that you can just crop it out if you are just retouching it, right? That's what I'm saying. And also that retouching thing, right? Recently I was using Nano Banana for retouching an image, and it is pretty horrendous at that. I mean, I can say that I can do it better than that by myself using any mobile app. Even Snapseed also does a better job. So that is one thing. I won't buy this product like just because of this AI generated image, because this is not declared somewhere that what alterations they have done on the image, right? Yeah, so that was my rant, explanation, whatever you can consider. See you again in the next video. Bye bye. Let me know your opinions in the comments if you have any.